How's it going, everybody? It has been officially a full season of Rocket League, except for one event. It is officially the biggest event in Rocket League history for the RLCS. It is the World Championship for the 2021-2022 year. We have been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Not only is it been just shy of 3 years since we've had an actual in-person world champion, like, people forget, Energy is still the reigning world champs. Because RLCS 9, we didn't have anything, and RLCS 10, we didn't have anything. So it has been a long time coming for this. We've been trying to figure out a format. We've been trying to redefine the circuit-based format, simplify things, do a bunch of different stuff. And finally, we now have a 10-day in-person event, 3 different formats and everything else. And for a lot of casual fans, they actually aren't truly aware. Like, there's a lot of questions I get trying to ask me to explain, like, what is this? What does this mean? What's going on? All that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do my best to try to break this down step by step. This is literally an all-encompassing your guide to worlds video conversation, whatever. I don't even know if this is going to turn into a YouTube video, but with that said, let's talk about it in the grand scheme of things, and then we'll break it down. And if you guys have questions in chat as well while this is going on, we'll get to them. Okay. I'm going to just rant off of everything that is on the top of my head, and then we'll get back into things. Okay. So first and foremost, what is RLCS? What is the format? What is happening? In RLCS X last season, they implemented a circuit-based format. The ability for teams, no matter if you are the top of the top or some no-name team, you have the ability to compete every 2 weeks for a chance to make it into the main event. They opened up this circuit-based system. No longer is it you have to perform well, you get automatically given a spot. Those are the only teams we play. Like, they completely redefined it. In RLCS 11, the 21-22 season, which we're watching now, they simplified it. They got rid of external stuff like the grid and the field. They made it so people could actually take a breather. Still a lot of Rocket League, but the way that it has worked, there's 3 splits: fall, winter, and spring. In every single split, there is 3 regional events. So every single region, whether it be North America, EU, SAM, MENA, OCE, SSA, APAC, does not matter where you are from. There's 7 different regions. You have 3 regionals to compete in within your own teams. NA plays NA, EU plays EU, etc. You get 3 chances. And based upon how you perform in those 3 regionals, if you're one of the best performing teams, you then get to go to an international major. That is what was essentially our previous world championships. We now have international competition. And the reason why these are so important is for 2 reasons. Number 1, they determine if you get to go to the world championship. And number 2, they, as a region, so if NA performs really well, whether you are NRG, V1, Space Station, whoever, based upon how your region performs, determines how many of your region get to go to the world championship, which I'll show in a bit later. It's the fall regional. You play in regional 1, 2, and 3. The format that they used was a Swiss format. What Swiss means is that top performing teams play top performing teams, lower performing teams play lower performing teams. So if you go 1-0, you play another 1-0 team. If you go 0-1, you play another 0-1 team. And you keep doing that until you either get 3 wins and you progress, or 3 losses and you go home. Eventually, they end up going through the regionals. They end up going through the majors, the splits, everything like that. International events happen. People win. We then go into winter. In between fall and winter, there is a trade window that allows teams to then, if they want to, trade out one of their starting players, bring in a new one. You see a bunch of roster changes. Teams trying to make adjustments so they can make a big run. One of the more notable ones was obviously Beast Mode being the addition of version 1. Obviously, I got to show my bias here, just like I do every other video towards version 1. I know you guys really like that. So we then get into winter. Winter split was kind of a weird format. The way they ended up doing it is there was a group stage. It was 16 teams playing round robin. There was 4 groups of 4. So every team plays every other team in their group. And if you are one of the top 3 teams, you then progress to the playoffs. If you're the number 1 team in your group, you get a bye into the upper bracket. You have an extra life. You are guaranteed top 6. If you are one of the teams that does not make it into that top seed, the other 2, you then go to the lower bracket and there are no lives remaining. It is what we refer to as a page playoff system. It is a weighted bracket. The teams that are ahead get an extra life and are further in the bracket. The teams that were last or second to last or third to last, I should say, in the group, then go to the lower side. They play a double elimination, but these teams get an advantage. Okay, they're further in the bracket by default. So they do that for all of for winter. They play 3 regionals. They then go to an international major, so on and so forth. It then brings us to our most recent, which was the spring split. 3 regionals again, teams competing. Spring was just straight up double elimination. You have 2 lives. If you lose twice, you go home. If you end up getting to the grand finals and you haven't lost yet, because you haven't lost, you have to be beaten twice, because everybody deserves to lose twice. They do that. They go through 3 regionals yet again. We then go to a spring major. And then after all of that is done, so we've now gone through 12 events, 3 regionals per split, 3 majors per split, or 3 majors total, 1 per split, but 3 regionals per split, 1 major per split as well. That gives us 12 events. After all 12 events, all said and done, we then get our final rankings. Over the course of 12 events, we now have a point total of all the different teams, as well as the highest performing regions per each event. So like, how well did the best European do in every single major? How well did the best North American team do in every major? So on and so forth. And that's how we get our world's region spots. These are important because the top 8 get an automatic bye into the World Championship. 9 through 16 play in a wild card. And then 17 through 24 also play in the wild card, which we'll break down in just a second here. The teams that are the best performing in the regions automatically get a bye based upon how well their regions performed. I talked about how it was important to see how good your region as a whole plays, and the reason why is these top 8 automatically get a bid into the second stage of the World Championship. So we have 7 different regions. They're all competing. They're all performing over the course of 12 different events, except for SSA. SSA wasn't allowed to play in the majors, but that's why they get 2 guaranteed spots into the wild card. We then get into the World Championship. The World Championship is taking exactly what we saw throughout the year between fall, winter, and spring, and implementing that into a 10-day event. That is what starts on the 4th of August. That is what is going to be happening now for the next 10 days of Rocket League craziness. It starts with the first format, which is the wild card. These are the teams that are ranked 9th to 24th. There's 16 teams, and they're going to perform in that Swiss format we saw in fall, where 1-0 teams play 1-0 teams, 2-0 teams play 2-0 teams. First to get 3 wins progresses to the next stage. First to get 3 losses ends up going home. Most you can play is 5 matches. That's going to go on for 4 days. The 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. The 8th is a day off. The 8 teams that get out of the wildcard format are then going to go into the group stage. The group stage joins the 8 teams that have automatically qualified, and then you have the 8 teams that made it out of wildcard, giving us another 16 teams. This is 2 groups of 8, and they are doing a double elimination matches. 2 losses, you end up going home. So, Swiss, these teams will all play each other. 1-0 plays 1-0, 2-0 plays 2-0, etc. After they get our teams, we then go into a double elimination. They fill all these in. If you lose, you go to the lower bracket. You lose again, you go home. Straightforward. 4 from each group progress. And after that happens, it then gives us our finals. So this will go over the course, I think, of 5 days. I think it goes from Tuesday to Saturday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, 5 days. So these matches will then cut the teams in half again, which gives us our final 8. And then Championship Sunday on the 14th of August will be straight up single elimination. If you lose, you go home. You have to win 3 best of 7s. And if you do so, you're the world champion. Over the course of the entire season, it will come down to 1 day. And you cannot lose. That is what the World Championship is. That is how it is going to be. The teams that are involved, the wildcard teams according to their regions, are as shown. The only one that may not look familiar is Senbei Strikers. This is the former Tokyo Verde team. This happened this morning. I don't know what the situation is behind this, but Tokyo Verde Esports is no more. They're now Senbei Strikers. That's the APAC North team, I'm pretty sure. We then have our 8 teams that are the best based upon their regions throughout the entire season, who get an automatic bye into the group stage. So these teams will all play each other. 8 progress to play these 8. They then play double elimination. After those teams get weeded in half, we get left with 8. We then play our final bracket, playoffs, send it. which is all done on one day. There's also like a freestyle 1v1 for $100,000 that's happening on one of these days as well, which is pretty crazy. To know how the matches are actually broadcasted. On the 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, there will be 2 streams. There will be an A stream and a B stream, and they will broadcast starting at 11 a.m. Central. That is 12 p.m. Eastern. There will be 4 matches on the A stream, 4 matches on the B stream. A 4-hour broadcast. On the 5th, same thing. 4 matches, 4 matches. On the 6th, same thing. 4 matches, 4 matches. On the 7th, 6 on the main stream, 3 on the B stream. These are qualification matches. These are elimination matches. That's why they put the additional ones there. Now, for the main event, when we get into groups, same thing. There is an A stream and a B stream. These are, Vic, these times are when the matches start. There will be like pre-shows and stuff with First Touch, but these are when the matches actually start. The matches in the pre-show will probably be like 30 minutes, maybe an hour beforehand with First Touch or something to that extent. I don't know how many shows on First Touch they're doing. I don't know that kind of stuff. That you'll just have to pay attention to Twitter. RL Esports on Twitter. Main event is when we get into our final 16 teams. That's the double elimination portion of the bracket. That's this. There will be 5 days of that, and there will be an A stream and a B stream on those. 4 matches each. 4 matches each. 4 matches only on Saturday. Actually, let me take that back. There is not an A and a B stream during groups. It is just straight 4 matches a day because every match is so important. You either are progressing further in the bracket or you are going down to lowers. Next, progressing forward, going to lowers. Next, qualifications, eliminations. So that's pretty important stuff. So group stage will be over 5 days. They're showing every match on the main stream. And then when we get to the last and final day, which is going to start again at 11 a.m. Central, 7 matches. Send it. The whole championship Sunday, all done in one day. It is all the quarterfinals, all the semifinals, all the grand finals, which is actually kind of nuts. That is what the schedule is. $2.085 million on the line. Winner takes $600,000 or $200,000 per player. It's the largest prize pool in Rocket League history. It's the largest prize pool in RLCS history by far. $6 million in total for this entire season. It's a lot. 72 players. There's a bunch of different stats. If you haven't seen my stats video, go check that out. I kind of break down some of the cool things. Older, younger players, all that kind of stuff. A lot of different broadcast talent, whether it be people like Bass from the Past who are getting invited last second, Spaceman, and stuff like that. We're going to see a bunch of different iterations between wildcard groups and finals days. 13,000 people sold out. The first couple stages will be Pavilion Pass, which is 1,000 people only in the Pavilion, which is the venue outside of Dickies, I'm pretty sure. I think it's in like the back. Dickies Arena. Pavilion. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Dickies Arena, 13,000. Pavilion, 1,000. To my knowledge. So the first couple rounds will be in here, but the final days will definitely be in here. Okay. There's a bunch of different things going on. On the 11th, I think Sunless Khan has like a pool party going on. I think tickets are sold out. Version 1 is sponsoring a concert with City of Sound at night. Also sold out. There's on the 12th, Space Station is doing a watch party. There's probably some after parties of some, like there's some stuff going on. A best way to pay attention, and it's going to be Twitter. Twitter is your best friend for these, of what's going on. But 1,000 people here, 13,000 in Dickies. That is where we're at. So with that said, is there questions that you all have about Worlds? Is there something that about Worlds you still have questions about, things you would like to know? What is it that you guys are trying to inquire about? Security will be a bit more strict. There should be metal detectors at every entrance. They should be checking every single bag. Bags have to be usually transparent. You have to have like certain electronics and certain things of certain sizes will not be allowed. Like you will not be able to bring in like cameras or anything like that unless you have a press pass or a media pass. So certain things like that don't even bother. All teams are confirmed to be there. The only team that does not have their starting roster, Abs Crazy, will be playing instead. I'm pretty sure, which is really unfortunate. He skipped going to Gamers 8 in hopes of getting his visa in time. and is not able to. So out of all 24 rosters, Gaming Gladiators is the only team that will not have their starting rosters. It will be LCT, Maxu, and Commutator instead of Abs Crazy. On-site guide. Here we go. Let's take a look at the on-site guide for everybody. If you were there in person, some things to know. Wildcarding group stage will be at the Pavilion for 1,000 fans. We already talked about that. Doors open for the pre-show at 10:30. Matches begin at 11. Drinks, concession, and snacks are available for purchase. Re-entry is also permitted. So make sure you hold on to your ticket if you want to get back in. There will also be World Championship merchandise. They have done unique merchandise for every single event. So like if you go to the Spring Major, there is Spring Major specific merch. There will also be World Championship merch. Okay? So that will be in the pavilion. There will be drinks. There will be food. Yes, there is alcohol being sold. In the actual arena on the 12th to the 14th, that will be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 13,000 people. There is Primer Ford and Mobile One. I guess it's official sponsors. There is also team booths where you can interact with some of your favorite Rocket League teams. Team booths are Dig, FaZe, Furia, G2, Moist, Energy, Optic, and V1. I know for sure V1 will probably do meet and greets. There will be doing giveaways. They'll be giving people merch. There's a lot of different things that these booths will have. Usually they do like 1v1s. They'll have like console setups or something. Like every booth is probably going to be a little bit different. I'm sure they'll schedule like their own meet and greets and stuff with the teams. I know I'll be at the version 1-1 with Supersonic at times. So there is 8 teams that have booths. Again, unique World Championship merchandise along with teams. Teams have the ability to sell their own merch as well. Keep that in mind. So if you want to pick up a jersey or your favorite stuff, go to the booths. Also drinks, concessions, snacks. As always, reentry is there. If you want, there's a guide. If you want to know specifics, whether you can carry in certain things, if power banks are allowed, what you're allowed to bring, what you're not, parking, you can do it from their website. Go to Dickie's Arena website, look at their FAQ, do that stuff. If you have 2 phones, you'll be fine, but it's more so like bigger electronics like cameras and stuff. Yes, Dickie's will be extremely strict. Dickie's will be extremely strict, and rightfully so. It needs to be. I will be attending certain things. What specifically, I do not know. DSLR cameras, all that kind of stuff are not allowed unless you have a press or a media badge. Yes, buy merch early. It does sell out very quickly. The first thing you should do is suffer the first day with too many clothes, and then that's it. I will be there on the 8th. I get there on the 8th. Well, I'll do watch parties. Yes, I will be doing watch parties up until I leave. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be doing watch parties. Yes. I'll also try to do daily recaps on the YouTube channel, doing predictions, all that kind of stuff. Anywhere we can meet you, I will be around. Just pay attention to my Twitter. Go to my Twitter. I tweet out. Instagram is also great. Instagram is where I post all the behind the scenes stuff. Instagram and Twitter are your best friends if you're trying to find me and any of that kind of stuff. Personal thoughts on the Sunday change? Love it. Single limb, best of 7s. Love it. That is World Championships. That is everything I can think of that you need to know that is provided. And if you want to know more, you can always check out their websites. You can always go and do some deep diving. So that is it. That is everything you need to know. I will try to do vlogs. I will try to do recaps. I will try to do everything I can to get press and behind the scenes stuff. I will do what I can. Just depends on what my obligations are when I'm there working. So that is what I have for you all for Worlds. Sound good?